A pessimist is an optimist in full possession of the facts. All truth passes through 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. Third, it is accepted as being self-evident. The majority of men are not capable of thinking, but only of believing, and are not accessible to reason, but only to authority. Talent hits a target nitrogen monoxide one else can hit. Genius hits a target nitrogen monoxide one else can see. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. A man can be himself only so long as he is alone, and if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom, for it is only when he is alone that he is really free. Education perverts the mind sense. We are directly opposing the natural development of our mind by obtaining ideas first and observations last. This is why so few men of learning have such sound common sense, as is quite common among the illiterate. Mostly it is loss which teaches us about the worth of things. You are free to do what you want, but you are not free to want what you want. Just remember, once you're over the hill you begin to pick up speed. We seldom think of what we have, but always of what we lack. Therefore, rather than grateful, we are bitter. Man is never happy, but spends his whole life in striving after something which he thinks will make him so. A high degree of intellect tends to make a man unsocial. The tallest oak tree once was an acorn that any pig could have swallowed. Wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become, and the same is true of fame. The more unintelligent a man is, the less mysterious existence seems to him. The shortness of life, so often lamented, may be the best thing about it. We can regard our life as a uselessly disturbing episode in the blissful repose of nothingness. What people commonly call fate is mostly their own stupidity. To forgive and forget means to throw away dearly bought experience. The safest way of not being very miserable is not to expect to be very happy. The greatest of follies is to sacrifice health for any other kind of happiness. Every man takes the limits of his own field of vision for the limits of the world. The person who writes for fools is always sure of a large audience. No rose without a thorn, but many a thorn without a rose. Almost all of our sorrows spring out of our relations with other people. After your death, you will be what you were before your birth. Genius and madness have something in common. Both live in a world that is different from that which exists for everyone else. If we suspect that a man is lying, we should pretend to believe him, for then he becomes bold and assured, lies more vigorously, and is unmasked. Reading is equivalent to thinking with someone else's head instead of with one's own. Religion is the masterpiece of the art of animal training, for it trains people as to how they shall think. Men are 1,000 times more intent on becoming rich than on acquiring culture, though IT is quite certain that what a man is contributes more to his happiness than what he has. The present is the only reality and the only certainty. The universe is a dream dreamed by a single dreamer, where all the dream characters dream too. Compassion for animals is intimately associated with goodness of character, and it may be confidently asserted that he who is cruel to animals cannot be a good man. If God made the world, I would not be that God, for the misery of the world would break my heart. In the whole world there is nitrogen monoxide study so beneficial and so elevating as that of the Upanishads. IT has been the solace of my life. IT will be the solace of my death. Marrying means to grasp blindfolded into a sack hoping to find out an eel out of an assembly of snakes. To use many words to communicate few thoughts is everywhere the unmistakable sign of mediocrity. To gather much thought into few words stamps the man of genius. To feel envy is human, to savor schadenfreude is devilish. IT is difficult to keep quiet if you have nothing to do. Thus, the task is not so much to see what nitrogen monoxide one yet has seen, but to think what nobody yet has thought about that which everybody sees.